Hey everybody, this is Tracy here for another edition of A View from Tracy's Point, and we are recapping Greenleaf Season 2, Episode 11, which was titled Changing Seasons. So then we had a scene with Bishop Greenleaf and Grace, and they arrived to the meeting of the Memphis Metropolitan Council of Churches at Triumph, and are greeted by Jacob. So Skanks, arrived late and greets Jacob, then starts the meeting. So Jacob is speaking shortly after and announces that he and Carissa founded the Real Church of Memphis. So that's what they're going to call their little street ministry. So at the meeting, the Catholic priest is speaking about a child who tried to kill himself for being gay. So of course this speech caused a bunch of rumbling in the room, and people, other preachers like, oh my God, like where is this going? And so the priest tells them that the boy is brain dead due to fumes from a car. So I guess he tried to, put the holes in the exhaust pipe. And so he's telling everyone that they need to do something about this. And meanwhile, Grace and Bishop Greenleaf, they're giving them the side eye and trying to make eye contact with Jacob, and and the other members at the meetings, seem to look uncomfortable, with basis call to action, of course, because they ain't trying to deal with homosexuality in their church. So at the end of the meeting, Grace asked Bishop Greenleaf and Jacob, about how they feel about joining with Skanks on shedding light on the boy's story, and they both agree that they shouldn't get their churches involved. However, Grace feels like there is something more that they can do. So I guess battling homosexuality and the stigma of it in the church is going to be Grace's new cause, since she done killed off Uncle Mac, and the whole sexual molestation in the church issue, that died with him. That's no longer an issue for her. Now she got to pick up something else that she can aggravate people about. So when they leave the Council of Churches meeting, Grace hugs Jacob and tells him that she's proud of him, and Bishop Greenleaf then invites him and Carissa over for dinner and makes it clear that he was moved by Jacob's speech at the meeting. So Grace and May are sitting at the table discussing the interview that Darius. So remember, Darius wrote the article on Grace and what happened with her and Uncle Mac. And so Sophia comes in, letting them know that she wasn't selected for the debutante ball. And so Grace feels that the reason she didn't get selected was because of the whole issue with Mike and Uncle Mike and being, in the media. So Bishop Greenleaf comes in, to grab Grace so they can go over to this meeting of the young pastors that basically Skanks has put together. And so when they leave, Lady Mae tells Marisol to go get this wooden box that she has and tells her to be careful. So Marisol asks her, what's in the box? So Lady Mae lets her know it's a gun. I'm like, oh Lord, let me find out. Lady Mae about to go shoot the people for not putting Sophia on the debutante ball. So Lady Mae meets with this lady named Jacinta, who is the president over I think they call it the St. Josephine Society. And so she brings the gun as a gift, for Jacinta, who, happens to be a gun lover and a gun collector. And so as Lady Mae, is talking to her, she pulls this book off the shelf, and it just happens to be the book from the year that Charity joined the society, or whatever they call it. So then Jacinta tells Lady Mae, I regret the fact that Sophia and Zora, they're not going to be a part of the ball. And then Lady Mae is like, well, we applied early enough. I don't know what happened. And so then I guess they realized something going on, because Lady said they didn't get applications for either one of the girls. And then she tells Lady Mae that Tasha Skanks is over the application committee this year. So of course Lady Mae immediately thinks that Tasha purposely didn't include the girls and probably tossed their applications away. Then Lady Mae goes to confront Tasha and says that she submitted those packets herself and she has the email to prove it. And Tasha was like, I didn't get anything. So she go and check her email, and she's like, I didn't get anything from you, and I appreciate you coming in here, acting like this. And so Tasha, she's still adamant, that she didn't receive the emails, and I think she called them phantom emails. And so Lady Mae, of course, she didn't like being dismissed. And then Tasha gets up, and walks towards Lady Mae, and gets a little fight. feisty with it, and she goes, First Lady, you come to my office and step to me? Like, hell, you got some nerves. So Lady Mae, she gives it back to her and says, what about my granddaughters? That's what I'm here to talk about. What have they done to deserve you treating them this way? And so Tasha, she's like, I did not get them applications. Had I got the applications, they would have been processed like everybody else. And I don't know why you're acting like this. And so, Tasha's like, I have nothing against these girls. Why would I mistreat them? So Lady Mae say, well, you might not have anything against them, but your husband does. And I'm like, Lady Mae, everybody ain't petty like you are. So then Lady Mae talking about, and don't deny it. He has it out for me, my family, my son, my husband. He said so. So it's no use you lying about it. So I'm like, Lady Mae, come on, like you're being real soap operation right now. So Tasha did admit that Basie has a bone to pick with the Greenleafs and Calvary Church. She said, but he has a reason to be acting the way he does, but he wouldn't take it out on these little girls. So I'm gonna need you to get up out my office with this nonsense. So Lady Mae is like, so you're just gonna stand there and just lie in my face. You don't have any self-respect. It's just like, Lady Mae, it ain't the end of the world. Go back and did you have some postage? Did you have a return receipt? Go check your inbox, Lady Mae, and see like what happened, because you can always re-forward the email to her and prove to her that you did send the information over. So at this point, Tasha's done with the conversation and tell Lady Mae that it's time for her to get on down the road. But Lady Mae, doesn't take kindly to being asked to leave, and she's like, is that a Macklin Castile, talking about a painting that was on the wall? And so Tasha was like, yes, it is. And she says that she only got it, after seeing one in Lady Mae's home. And so she, I think it was like a magazine feature and it was a picture. So basically, Tasha's telling Lady Mae that she looked up to her. She admired her as the First Lady of Calvary and aspired to be like her. And so then, Lady Mae kind of feeling bad at that point, but, she got to have the last word. So she's like, I'm going to find those emails. And when I do, you're going to find yourself pinned like a butterfly to a display case of justice. Lady Mae and her laugh. Boy, they are award worthy. So Lady Mae, she goes and meets with that secretary they got over there at Calvary, and they're looking for the nomination emails that she sent. So the secretary was able to find the emails, and she finds the files open from like 2 years ago or something like that. So she was telling Lady Mae, you need to close out some of these files. That's why you can't find what you be looking for, but they printed out the emails so Lady Mae can go and prove her point. So then we have a scene where, Rochelle stopped by the church to see Bishop Greenleaf, and she done baked him a pineapple upside down cake. I'm like, all right, that girl. So Lady Mae walks in as the bishop was tasting that cake, and she's like, what the hell going on? Because Rochelle was sitting on the edge of the desk. I was just like, so inappropriate and so out of order, So Lady Mae mood changed real quick towards Miss Rochelle. And then the bishop told me, oh, Lady Mae, this cake is so good. You need to come over here and try it. Lady Mae, like, I bake my own damn cake. I don't need to try the cake. So, after Lady Mae leaves, no, actually Lady Mae was still there. And so Rochelle tells her that, so then the bishop asks her, did she get to the bottom of the Cotillion situation? So then Rochelle lets them know that her and Jacinta are really good friends, and if there's anything that they need her to do, she's willing to help out. So then Lady Mae like, okay, well, I need to put that card in my pocket, but for right now, I really don't need you in here with my husband feeding him some damn pineapple upside down cake. So Lady Mae leaves, and then Rochelle asks, did she do anything wrong? And then Bishop Greenleaf tells her, no, you perfect. You perfect. I was like, okay, Bishop Greenleaf, what happened to your Parkinson's? We ain't seen you shaking and jittering in a while. You need to get back on track. And when are you going back up in that pulpit at Calvary? Because we ain't seen no preaching, no singing, or nothing in a while over here at this church. So Lady Mae returns to Tasha's office to confront her, like, I got the proof. I got the emails. Bam, what you gonna do now? Turn out Lady Mae done sent the doggone emails to the wrong email address. I said, Lord, there's one thing claimed to be loud, but then to be loud and wrong. But she ain't ready to eat no humble pie at all. And so then Tasha was like, you gonna keep bouncing your butt up here in my office, being all petty and throwing shade and carrying on, and can't humble yourself and apologize, when you were in the wrong. And so she was like, Dr. Butler is a lot more peeved at you right now than I am. And I told her, what you did, posing all over my shag rug like some entitled white woman. She said, so Dr. Butler apologized to me even if you can't. And then she said, now, I may not be, on the same pages of Southern decor yet, but I will be. And as for you, Mrs. Greenleaf, you will never be featured on those pages again. I was like, right, Tasha? First ladies, can we have a coming together, a meeting of the minds and the hearts? Because y'all should be the example for the other women in the church. And if y'all being petty, what does that say about the rest of the congregation? So let's bow our heads and pray that the first ladies can get it together. So Lady Mae said, I may have lost the battle, but doggone it, I'm going to win the war. So she goes back to Bishop Greenleaf and tells him to invite Rochelle to dinner. So Bishop Greenleaf was like, what's going on? Then Lady Mae said, I need her help. So later that night, Rochelle, she's at the dinner table with Grace, Jacob, and Carissa. And they ask her about her former church home and why she left. So Rochelle tells them that she had breast cancer and she felt that the Reverend wasn't there for her, that the church didn't support her in her time of need. Lady Mae says that, she won't have to worry about that now. And so Rochelle says that, she does feel supported by the people over there at Calvary. Now, I don't know if it's people at Calvary or if it's the pastor or the bishop at Calvary that make her feel supported. So the conversation switches to Basie Skanks. And so Rochelle tells them that although she was moved by Basie's sermons, some things seemed a little off about him. So Bishop Greenleaf brings up, how Grace became enamored by Basie's speech, that when they went to the conference of the young pastors, and that the boy, because he had told a story about a boy who attempted suicide. So Grace, explains that she was moved by the speech about using the church to fight against homophobia, not that she was all impressed with Basie. So Lady Mae and Bishop Greenleaf looking at her like, girl, here you go on another one of your little tangents. Grace apologizes to Rochelle for everything, that had been discussed at the dinner table. And Lady Mae makes it clear that she thinks that Basie is just using the suicide attempt as a means to advance his own self, that he doesn't even care about the boy committing suicide or about the gay people. And she says, is that the donkey he's going to ride into Jerusalem with now? Lady Mae, leave people alone and focus your attention on getting them girls into that cotillion. So then after that, a debate ensues over the church and homosexuality, and Grace almost brings up, how Lady Mae had Carlton fired over his sexual orientation. So they also talked about Kevin and Charity getting a divorce and, him leaving the church, because of his sexuality. And then Carissa brings up how it's Grace's fault that Sophia and Zora weren't picked for the cotillion due to the stigma surrounding Grace killing Uncle Mac. All this in the presence of company. Y'all carrying on like this. So then Bishop Greenleaf and Lady Mae, they end up escorting Rochelle at the house and apologizing, to her, about her behavior earlier at Calvary. Because remember, she still ain't asked Rochelle to help her get the girls in. So then she asked Rochelle, if she'll speak to Jacinta about her granddaughter's applications. Rochelle calls Jacinta a client that she can call a true friend, and that, she'll do whatever she can to help get them girls in. So then the next morning, Grace and Lady Mae, they're sitting down for breakfast, and Lady Mae tells Grace that it wasn't her fault, that Zora and Sophia didn't make it into the cotillion. And then she tells her that she sent the emails to the wrong account, and I couldn't believe she fessed up to that. So she also tells her that Rochelle would talk to Jacinta, about getting the girls in, and then Sophia runs in, all excited, and let them know that there was a mix-up, and that her and Zora are indeed in the cotillion, and she's real excited about carrying on the family tradition. So Lady Mae smiles and gives her a big hug and tells her, that she's really deserving. So then Grace thanks her mama, for having her back and everything. And she also expresses concerns about Rochelle, telling Lady Mae, you better keep your eye on her. Like, I'm glad she got them girls into the cotillion, but I don't trust her mama, So then Lady Mae say, we'll fight that fight when it becomes a fight. She's like, I got my eye on that helmet, and she ain't about to take my husband. So then Lady Mae asks Marisol, take down all them paintings, all them Michelin Castile paintings, because she don't want to be on the same level as Tasha Skanks. She's better than so like, y'all so damn petty and trifling over there at the Greenleaf Mansion. So then we move over to Carissa and Zora. So Carissa and Zora are talking about the cotillion, and Zora, is disappointed that she wasn't selected for the cotillion. So to make it up to Zora, Carissa, invites her to New York to see the play Hamilton. So Zora is really shocked that, Carissa had made the offer because she had expressed wanting to go in the past, and that Carissa had told her, that they couldn't afford to do it. So she's trying to figure out, okay, so what then happened now that all of a sudden we could go? So then later on, Zora and Isaiah are hanging out, and she's disappointed about not getting selected. And so Isaiah tells her that, he didn't want her wearing a poofy dress anyway, because y'all know he got control issues. So they, begin making out, then she stops him from going further, saying that she's still a virgin. And then Isaiah, that just made it more tempting. So Isaiah persuades her to go all the way and give up the virginity, and like a dummy, she did it. So Isaiah is getting Zora undressed, when she stops him again. And so she admits that she's nervous, about losing her virginity. And she asks if he has everything that he needs, meaning the condom. So Isaiah says, yes, I'm ready, baby. I got everything that you need. So then she decides to, go ahead and give it up to Isaiah. I'm like, Zora, why are you being the typical teenage girl? Like, you the preacher's daughter, and you're acting just like preacher's daughters act. Then being the silly teenage girl that she is, Zora couldn't keep it to herself. So she tells Sophia, that Isaiah came over, and of course, Sophia gets mad and tells Zora, why are you still communicating with him? But Zora, snaps at her, says, just because granddad put you in a tub of water doesn't mean you know what's best for me. So I'm taking Zora ain't been baptized yet, and she's jealous that Sophia done got baptized, and now she over there serving at the church, teaching Sunday school and teaching the little lambs and all of that, while she out here being a hoochie mama over there at the street ministry. So then Zora decides, to go ahead and spill the beans and let Sophia know that she gave it up to Isaiah. And at this point, Sophia is just done with her. So then later on, Sophia is doing FaceTime with Roberta, and she asks with Roberta and asks him if he's still a virgin, and he says yes he is. And so she replies, well, I'm one too. And then he asks her why, and she says that she was just curious and wanting to know, like, is all my friends getting laid, or is it just my little hot tail cousin over there giving it up? Remember, Grace got to be up in something. She is, I guess that's what Greenleaf is about. It's Grace and, all her causes that she's going to take up. So she decides to call Basie and asks to meet with him to talk about, his call to action. And when she asks if they can meet soon, he replies, we can meet right now. So Grace gets over to Basie's office, and they talk about, what the church could do more to make people, make gay people feel welcome. And so Basie admits that it wasn't his idea to talk about, what they talked about, but was moved by his partner in Christ, Miguel, and the whole boy's story. So I guess he was sitting there at the meeting, and when the preacher started talking about the boy trying to commit suicide, the light went on, like, oh, this is something I can take up. And so he's like, I know you know how it is. The Lord moves when he moves. We just do our best to follow at his speed. I'm like, okay, Basie. So then Grace asks, what is he going to do? And Basie admits that he doesn't have a plan, but he's going to come up with something. So then Charity's at the church working on, some songs or something that she wants to teach the choir. But, she can't stop thinking about Kevin and the fact that he up and left and nobody has heard from him. So she decides to call Carlton. Now, y'all remember Carlton was the minister of music that Lady Mae got rid of when the church was having financial problems, saying that, you know, his position was not needed, when it really was about the fact that Carlton was gay and was bringing his husband to the church. So Carlton gets there and the two of them get to talking, and so we learn that he's teaching piano lessons part-time, and then he criticizes her for not having his back when he was fired, and she responds by telling him that, you know, she was getting divorced. So then she tells Carlton, you know, that Kevin is gay, and I'm just like, Charity, you just gonna tell everybody Kevin's business, you know. So Carlton seems surprised by the news, but I'm wondering, why is Carlton surprised? Because I thought gay men could see, gay people could tell when other people are gay, and I really thought that Carlton was going to be the one to tell Charity that her man was gay. Actually, I thought the other, because was the other minister of music gay? Because I thought when Charity fired him that he was going to come back and say, well, that's why your husband gay, but maybe he didn't know either, so I don't know. But anyway, Carlton, they get into a conversation, and Carlton was basically telling her that, you know, even though he left Calvary, you know, he thought Charity was a friend, and that shouldn't have ended their friendship, you know, just because he left. But Charity, you know, she didn't know how to act, and she felt bad that, you know, Lady Mae had fired Carlton. And Charity revealed something to Carlton that I don't think any of us thought about. I think we all forgot, because remember, people be disappeared from the show, but you guys remember that Charity was actually pregnant with twins. And remember when Kevin told her that he was gay, and then she got all emotional and had to go to the hospital, and one of the twins died? We totally forgot, and Charity never had the opportunity to mourn the loss of her daughter. So she shares that with Carlton, and, you know, she says that I feel like she's out there like a kite, you know, just out there, you know, in the stars all by herself. And I'm just like, I think I actually shed a tear when Charity said that, because I had totally forgot about that other baby. Like, did they even have a service for the other baby? Did they have like a little funeral? Because I know that some people who have lost their babies when they were like late-term pregnancies, they actually get the babies baptized. They have these little tiny coffins, and just... Oh, Charity, I'm so sorry that we didn't care, you know. So Carlton consoles her, you know, as she begins to cry, and he lets her know that her daughter is always around and safe in heaven. And so, you know, we have a scene where Charity is rocking Nathan again and talking to him about his sister, and, you know, and was telling him that you would have been her best friend. And then it got me to thinking, if y'all watch Power, how Raina and Tariq, you know, they was twins, but Tariq showed up, let Ray kill Raina. Then Charity tells the baby Nathan, you know, about his sister, and said that, you know, they would have been best friends. And then I was thinking, did Charity name the other baby? Like, they didn't even do the whole grieving process, you know, with the baby dying or anything that I can remember. So then Charity, you know, she moves on, and so she's playing a new song for Jabari at the church, and because he's back in town. And at the end of the song, you know, he tells her that it's a hit, and then all of a sudden Charity turned and kissed him. So I guess Charity is over Kevin, and Charity has mourned the loss of her baby, and she is ready to move on and get her grown girl on. So the episode ends with the two of them, you know, staring at each other, looking confused. And now I'm wondering, okay, is Jabari straight or is Jabari gay? Because I'm real confused right now. I don't know what's going on, and neither does Jabari. And that was the end of the episode, guys. Not a whole lot going on, but let me know what you think about it. Leave your comments below, rate the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And until the next time, I shall talk to you guys later.